Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to be discussing de-escalation techniques. As an agency, we're dealing with clients with comorbid issues that have a high acuity of behavior, have a high acuity of anger, have a high um, presentation of disruption, and at times impulsivity. Our clients can demonstrate behaviors in times that can create crisis situations in group or in the setting or whatnot. And having best practices in dealing with those issues can allow us to de-escalate clients in a manner that if we all are using this de-escalation technique, we can have a collective staff efficacy in the way we respond to clients in crisis situations or when they are escalated, right? So the way we want to approach de-escalating clients, or we want to use the active listening technique, right? So this model right here shows you the sequence of the active listening sequence, right? At the bottom of it, you're going to see solar, which is our body language. And we're going to, I'll have a slide that talks about each. The second part of this pyramid is paraphrasing and asking questions. The third is meaning and reflection. The fourth is empathy. And the last is the action stage, the actions that we're going to take with our clients. So let's talk about solar. So solar is a body language, right? It is how you present yourself to the clients and remain open to the clients, showing that we're not uncomfortable, showing that we're there and we're going to actively listening to them, and we're going to make sure that they know that we're attentive and not bothered, right? So in the solar model, you're going to sit squarely and face the speaker, right? Open up to the individual that's speaking, right? You want to have an open posture. Don't cross your arms or legs. You want to lean towards the individual. You want to maintain eye contact with them. And you want to stay cool and keep yourself from fidgeting, making an individual feel as if there's an emotional response from you, right? So this open posture is going to let the client know that you're open to them, you're not a threat to them, and you're not upset with them, and you're there to actively listen to what they are saying. The next thing I want you to do, I want you to paraphrase what the client is saying, right? This is when you state something written or spoken in different words, especially in shorter, simpler form to make the meaning clear. If a client was to say, I'm really angry about being here today because I'm missing my family and I want to go home and I can't take being here anymore, right? You would paraphrase that statement. Well, it sounds like you're really missing home and you really want to be with your family. That's paraphrasing that statement to get clarity from the client. Now the client understands, wow, this person's listening to me. This person actively understands what I'm saying, actively knows how I'm feeling right now, and listening to what I'm saying because I've paraphrased their statement, right? It's going to be brief, right? It's going to be short. It's going to be and present a clear meaning to what the client just stated. Next, I want you to provide meaning and reflection. This is a process where the provider describes their learning, how it changed, and how it might relate to future learning experiences for the best interest of the client, right? So again, reflecting on things or whatnot. A client can say 3 + 3 is 5, right? In that moment, we don't want to change what they're saying. We want to be right there with them or whatnot. In that moment, 3 + 3 is 5. They're right, right? But we also want to talk about the meaning of things or whatnot. What's going on, right? Moving forward, it looks like when you get angry, you really become aggressive, and you really can, because you really want people to back up. You don't want people to be in your face. You don't want people to be to disrespect. You don't want to ever feel as if you're unaccepted, right? You're gonna find that because when you have those kind of feelings, it makes you really upset, right? So that's providing that reflection, providing that meaning, helping them to understand the feeling that they have. It sounds like you feel really abandoned right now. It sounds like you feel really left out. It sounds like you feel like you don't count in this moment, right? It sounds like that's their reflection of feeling, right? Helping that client identify that feeling, which that feeling from a cognitive behavioral perspective influences a behavior, right? So from a cognitive behavioral perspective, a thought leads to a feeling, and a feeling leads to a behavior, right? So again, we want to help them reflect that feeling so they can see what behavior that feeling is actually initiating, right? If clients are aware of those things, they can then begin to act or understand, oh, I'm feeling this, and this is why I'm responding that way. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feeling of another, right? So empathy is not understanding experience, it's understanding the feeling one is having. You don't necessarily have to have experience what the client is experiencing to understand how they feel, right? You can go down inside and find a feeling that matches their feeling from something that you've experienced, right? And actually respond based off of that, right? I don't have to have ever um, assaulted anyone, right, to be empathetic of someone who just assaulted someone, right? The feeling of anger, right, is what prompted the assault, right? So, but have I ever been angry in my life? Absolutely, right? So going down to myself, and finding that moment of anger or whatnot, and responding, you can help the client understand. Wow, this person understands how I feel. Empathy is 30% of counseling. It's 30% of rapport building. It's 30% of a relationship, right? So being able to empathize with someone is very important. Finally, action. I want you to take action and provide a sense of safety and control for the client. Providing options is always a great way of give someone a sense of safety and control, right? You can do this or you can do that. With the client now have the opportunity to choose which one they want to utilize or whatnot, they have that sense of control now because now I can make a choice. All right. So now we're going to provide that option to give them a sense of control. I'm also going to provide them some space, right? I want to give them as much space as they need for as long as they need it. I also want to provide warmth. I want to show that unconditional positive regard for what they're experiencing, right, and understand their feelings that they're going through, so I can remain warm myself, right. I'm going to do this internally, right. Then I want to provide understanding to where they are, understanding to how they feel, and how that feeling is experiencing their behavior, right. Through that, the actions you take is going to help the client de-escalate, right. So to recoup, let's go back to slide number